In this video, we're going to talk about the bison, a true icon of the wild. I mean, these are magnificent animals that once roamed in absolutely vast numbers. And their story, well, it's a really dramatic tale of survival. It's a journey from tens of millions right to the brink of extinction and somehow back again. Just to put that into perspective for you, before the 1900s, it's estimated that somewhere around 16 million bison thundered across North America. I mean, can you even imagine, Merritt? An incredible number of animals literally shaping the entire landscape. But by the end of that same century, that number had completely plummeted. Conservationists could find fewer than 1,000 of them left in the wild, from 60 million to under 1,000. It was a truly catastrophic collapse. Now, here's something you might not know. When we talk about bison, we're actually talking about two different, though very closely related, species. And you'll see they shared a surprisingly similar fate on two totally different continents. So on one side, you've got the famous American bison, the symbol of the Great Plains, right? And then over in Europe, you have its cousin, the wisent. And unlike its American relative, the wisent was a creature of the ancient forests. So the big question is, how on earth did they survive this brush with total extinction? You know, their survival is honestly one of the most incredible comeback stories in the entire animal kingdom. Just look at these numbers. This chart really shows you the sheer scale of both the collapse and the recovery. Thanks to massive conservation efforts, the North American population has bounced back from less than 1,000 to around 400,000 today. That is a truly staggering achievement. So where are all these bison living now? Well, the vast majority are actually on private ranches, which play a huge role in their management. But you also have really significant herds on tribal lands and public lands. All of these groups are working together to secure the bison's future. And over in Europe, the bison faced a similar crisis. It went completely extinct in the wild back in 1919. But through this amazing effort using animals from zoos, the population was slowly brought back. By the 1970s, they hit over 1,500, and that number is still growing today. Okay, so now that we know their incredible survival story, what's life actually like for a bison? You know, what are the social rules inside the herd? What about their family ties? Alright, let's start with the basics. Bison are mammals, and they are super social. They live, travel, and eat together in these organized groups we call herds. And these herds have a very clear social structure. Usually, these herds are split into two main types. First, you've got the larger mixed groups, which are kind of like these big family units with all the females and their calves. And then you have smaller bull groups, which are basically bachelor pads for the adult males. So who do you think is in charge? You'd probably guess the biggest, toughest bulls are the leaders, right? Well, you'd be wrong. In those main herds, it's usually the older, more experienced females who are calling the shots, deciding where everyone goes and what they do. Their lives follow a really distinct yearly cycle. It all kicks off in late spring when the new calves are born. Then it moves into the summer mating season, that's when the bulls rejoin the main herd. And finally, in winter, they all gather in huge groups to find food and stay safe together. Okay, let's wrap this up with some fun, rapid-fire facts that just make bison so fascinating. I bet some of these are really gonna surprise you. First up, talk about a supermom. A female bison is an incredibly dedicated mother. Get this, she can have calves for about 20 years of her life. That's amazing. Next fact, they are total vegetarians. Yep, they're herbivores, spending their days grazing on grasses and other plants. That's why they love open meadows and clearings. Alright, here's one for all the foodies out there. As a food source, cooked bison meat is incredibly lean. A 100 gram serving has only about 2.4 grams of fat. That's roughly 75% less fat than what you'd find in the same amount of beef. This next one is pretty wild. A bison pregnancy lasts for about 280 days. And what's so fascinating about that is it's almost the exact same length as a human pregnancy. And when that calf is finally born, it weighs between 18 and 23 kilograms. But these little ones are born ready to go. They are so resilient that most can stand up and even run with the herd within just a few hours. You know, the story of the bison is one of the greatest conservation success stories ever. But it really does leave us with the big question for the future. After being brought all the way back from the brink, what is the next chapter for this mighty animal? Alright, that is it this video, everyone. Thank you for watching. Please make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel, and I'll see you in the next video.